going on, guys? XSR Detroit here with another video for you. Today I'm going to be draining all the coolant out of my XSR900 and replacing it with new coolant. Yamaha recommends you do this every 2 years, so it's definitely about time for my bike. So I'm going to grab some tools and we're going to get to work. We're going to start off by removing the radiator cap. There is a 8mm fastener we'll have to take off before we can pop it off. So we're going to push down hard and twist all the way to the left. Next step is to remove this coolant overflow cover. We have a 3mm Allen and a 5mm Allen, so let's pop that off. Another thing to be aware of is these spacers and everything. There's a white one back here. They pop out pretty easy, so just make sure when you're putting everything back together that you have them and everything is secure. Go ahead and grab a drain pan, and we'll pop this just out. Oh, see, there goes one of the spacers. And we'll just empty that out. Set that aside. Grab your drain pan and move it towards the left side of the bike. We're going to take a look at the water pump here. The very bottom bolt right here is the drain bolt for the coolant system. So what we're going to do is we're going to crack that open and let that drain. I try to get my camera out of the splash zone, so just make sure you have your drain pan ready to go. Obviously it's going to come down this way. I have this Givi cage on my bike, so I couldn't fit a socket wrench in there, but I do have a standard Allen key, so let's pop it open. Oh, and this is a 5mm, by the way. Now that the coolant has been drained out of the bike, we're going to put the drain plug back in. I'm gonna snug it in, not too much. The factory torque specification for this is 9 Newton-meters, so snug it up, do not crank on it. So we still probably have some coolant in there that you can feel. So what I'm gonna do, and this isn't in the manual, is I'm just gonna pull this radiator hose real quick. I'm gonna grab some pliers and put the squeeze on it right down here. Sorry about the camera angle, but it's this tube coming right off the radiator, can't miss it. So we're gonna pull that and let that drain out too to get some extra fluid out. Yeah, that's a lot of coolant. So we're gonna put that right back on, slide that on, grab your needle nose. Give that a tug, make sure that's on nice and snug. So over here on the underside of the bike, we have another hose. We're gonna try and get some coolant out of. It's right here. I believe that's going to the oil cooler. So we're gonna take that off. There we go. And go ahead and pop that right back on. A lot easier going on than it was to take off. Make sure that's on all the way. Give that a tug. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Next step, we're gonna fill our coolant reservoir right up to this second bar here. And I still got a little coolant in there to empty out, but I'm gonna fill it up. I'm using Yamaha, the OE coolant. I mean, you can use whatever coolant you choose. Just make sure you do your research, make sure everything's compatible. But the Yamaha is pre-diluted, so you don't have to mess with mixing coolant. And I mean, it's the manufacturer's spec, so it's probably a safe bet, right? My 5th attempt to try this. It's not hard, it's just a pain in the ass. These plastic spacers just really aren't super fun to deal with. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our reservoir, we're gonna take our drain tube, route it this way, put it on that side of the spacer there. We're gonna come around with our cover. Again, make sure that spacer stays in. Maybe pop that through. And of course, this is coming out the bottom right here. So go ahead and push that through now, and hopefully this time I don't knock the spacer out of the frame. Like I said, it's not hard, it's just a pain in the ass. Take 5. We got our fastener here. Maybe I'll take that out of the way. And I'm gonna try and get it from the top. Now I'm gonna take this fastener out and try and just eyeball it. I'm hoping that's in. Now, we have this spacer back here, don't forget. Make sure you have that in. And we're just gonna hand start these for now. We're gonna pop this cap in and make sure that we got enough slack. Make sure your overflow top is seated nicely. I think that was definitely the worst part of the job. Like I said, not hard, but it's a pain in the ass. So you're gonna have to play with it. I started up top because I just wanted to make sure that that white spacer was still in the frame, make sure that's all good. Everything's nice and tight. Cap is on nicely, so we're ready to move on. At this point, we are ready to fill up the radiator. The radiator takes 2 quarts of coolant, so nice and easy. And we're probably gonna head down to some radiator tubes or hoses to burp the system as well. Time for quart number 2, nice and slow. There is air escaping out of the coolant system. So I'm going to keep burping these radiator hoses and adding a little more coolant. At this point, I'm gonna throw the radiator cap on and run the bike for a few and see where we're at as far as the coolant level. After running the bike for a few minutes, the coolant went down a little bit, so I'm just gonna add a bit more. Gonna run it for a few minutes, and then if we're full, we're full. I wanted to show you something that I've been using as kind of a trick, because it's kind of difficult to see the level for your coolant down by the reservoir. And so what I've done is I got a little LED flashlight and I kind of just shine it in here, and it makes it a bit easier to see. As you can see, we are pretty much at the full mark, so we're good to go. Coolant is ready to rock. I just got to throw my bolt on real quick on the radiator cap, and that is it. Not too bad, honestly. The only part that was kind of a pain in the ass was the reservoir housing, getting that back on. But other than that, man, this is not bad. Shouldn't take you too long. Something you should do every 2 years or so. But yeah, let me throw this bolt back in, and we're gonna call it a day. Let's go ahead and pop that on right here, like so. Careful, the radiator might be a little warm. Just snug. No need to go crazy with that. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. If you found the video helpful, please consider subscribing, maybe even like the video. If you have any questions, sound off in the comment section. But that's about it. Pretty easy to do. You know, take good care of your bike will take care of you. Spring is almost here and I can't wait. I have been dying to ride, but I need my bike in A1 condition, so we are getting there. But yes, thank you for checking out the video, and yeah, ride fast, ride naked, wear your helmet, and I'll see you in the next video.